So around this time last year, I left full-time employment and I've essentially been self-employed for the last year. And I want to speak about exactly what led me to leaving my full-time job, how it's been over the last year, and what advice I can give you if you're someone that's in a job that you don't like and you eventually want to move out. So let's get into it. So first of all, as a lot of you will know, I worked in corporate for 10 years. Now, any of you guys that have worked in corporate or work in corporate know that it is tough. It's tough, not because of the actual job you've got to do, but because of all the politics, having to pretend that you like each other. You see insane levels of jealousy amongst co-workers. To get into good favor with their bosses, they'll actually tell on a friend and so on and so forth. And ultimately, even though you do get paid very well, a lot of times, and it's not just me, this is me having so many different conversations over the last 10 years because people tend to just open up to me about how they're feeling in the workplace. It's a dog-eat-dog world in there. And essentially, if you're not clever and you don't have good money management, you're just stuck in a rat race. And essentially, you won't be able to get out unless you come up with a plan and you execute on that plan as well. I would say that the first few years actually in corporate, it was actually quite good. I was new to it. I just came out of uni. So I was working really hard, essentially doing everything I can, putting in a lot of hours. And then over time, it started to hit me, especially in my mid to late 20s, that I couldn't be doing this forever. I remember speaking to another coworker and he mentioned to me that he sees himself working for somebody else within a corporation like that till he's old and grey. And I just could not see that for myself, honestly. So from the age of 27, I started investing into a stocks and shares ISA. I then also started to go to networking events for property and then just started to learn about how I can actually accumulate wealth, accumulate assets that are going to pay me and also grow in time so that I'm less reliant on somebody else to pay my bills. So that's essentially what I started doing. And then through that, my stocks and shares ISA started to grow. I bought my first investment property. And then from there, I learned about block of flats and I bought a block of flats up north as well. I started Airbnb out my rooms. And then essentially, I started to make some money from my side income. And the more I was doing that, the less fulfilled I was becoming in my corporate job. Ultimately, I was in a place where I had people above me speaking to me as they wanted, managers talking to me like I was a piece of garbage. And essentially, I just said to myself, I've got to respect myself because ultimately, if I stay here, I'm going to lose my mind. I just couldn't do it no more. For me, I was just fed up, not even because the job was hard. It was just, I felt caged in an environment that I didn't belong. I didn't feel like it was my calling, to be honest. Now, for me, I had a lot of savings. So I had a lot of savings and I had some income coming in as well, which covered a good amount of my expenses. So because of that, I felt like actually it was okay for me to leave my job. And in the last year, it's definitely not been easy, but it's definitely been worth it. I've been able to go on different podcasts. I've Airbnb out another room. I'm now helping a lot of people get on the property ladder as well, helping people purchase their first investment property, helping people purchase their first residential property. I'm helping 2 people at the moment purchase their first block of flats. So we just got an offer accepted on one of my mentees this week as well. So this for me feels like my calling, essentially to not only keep pushing and keep building my wealth, but actually help others as well that actually don't know much about property build theirs. So that's what I've really been doing in the last year. And for me, it's been very fulfilling. And it's also been very tough as well. There's been a lot of setbacks as well this year. But in that, there's a lot of learnings as well. And I really now have a lot more belief in myself too. This has been the first year. And I know the first year is always the hardest year. When you go into self-employment, when you have to back yourself and you're reliant on yourself to ensure that, you're covering your basic expenses. So if you are someone that's looking to leave your job, what I would say is don't just quit. Have a plan. Ensure that you've got at least 6 months of full savings so you can cover all your expenses for 6 months and ensure that you've got some income coming in as well. Now, you hear a lot of people say you've got to match your salary. I don't believe in that. I think if you have income coming in from your side job that can cover all your basic necessities and then you've got 6 months saved as well, I think at that point you can actually take the leap of faith because you can get all that time back and then actually focus on the business that you want to focus on. So whether that is property or something else, that is the advice that I would give you because you'd be surprised on when you get that time back, who you can be and what you can become as well. And the things that you can learn as well. In the last year, I've learned so much about sales, marketing, how to speak in front of people. And it's been amazing. Honestly, it's been so incredible for my self-development. And you're never going to regret taking the chance at being amazing. You're never going to regret doing something that most people won't dare to do because it instills a certain level of confidence and bravery in you. And it takes a high level of courage to do it as well. So this is just my message to you. If you are someone that's in a job, and believe you me, look, I'm not against jobs, to be honest. For me, it was just my own personal experience. Being in the corporate world for 10 years, I realized that there is no way I could go back. This is not me saying I want to do a job again. I just know you won't see me in the city centre doing a corporate job ever again. I just can't do it. And to me, it's just not a bit of me. And it's not only me, the majority of people share that. And the reason why I say that is because I was around them for ages. And when they went in front of their managers and they were just talking to me about it, they was able to share with me their honest opinion. And they don't enjoy it, they don't like it, but they feel that they have to do it because that's the only income that they have that covers their bills and their expenses. And once you're able to actually make even a little bit of money outside of your job, you realize that you don't need a job to make money. You need income to survive. You don't need a job. So with that, I hope you take some inspiration from this and understand that actually you can be whoever you want to be. You don't need to be limited by what your family, friends, employers, fellow employees say about you. Ultimately, you determine where you can go. I'm sure there'll be people that will watch this video and they'll be annoyed that I'm talking about it, but I can talk about it and I will talk about it. So if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, and if you found value from this video or any other video on the channel, then do subscribe as well. And until next time, happy investing.